Okay, guys, so the event is live, the Raphael event. We are still waiting, of course, for more details around the Leonardo event, but we know now what you need in order to get Raphael. And at least for me personally, it's sad news. I mean, we're going to go over it in just a moment, but basically the main way how you get your slices, your pizza slices, in order to complete the deck of fate and get Raphael is through pulling soul stones. Unfortunately, not accompanied by an actual increase in chance event for soul stones. And then obviously you can also farm artifacts. And I've already started farming artifacts and accessories quite a bit, but I gotta say that I did the math, and for me personally, with a free-to-play account here, I'm not gonna be able to pull him just yet. The account has just not progressed far enough yet, and I haven't accumulated enough soul stones. But let's go over the details and let's see if maybe you can at least get him, because Raphael, while he might be one of the weaker turtles, he's still fantastic. And of course the turtle team is unfolding a lot of synergies if you can get all of them. I'm still hoping that I can at least go for Leonardo, but with Raphael currently going large, let's have a quick look at him. Alright, so looking at Raphael directly, again, we have, as usual, the synergy that you get with all of the other champions if you have them. And this is really just absolutely crazy. If you've seen already one of those full turtle teams attack, they are brutal and it is glorious. If you get all of them, then that's fantastic. And when we're talking about the passive, it's essentially centering around Berserk if you have that as a debuff on your own champion and the effect that it's going to have on you. But looking at the A3, for example, you have a single target damage that will ignore defense on the target, which is already pretty decent. The numbers for all of the turtles are basically pretty good. Michelangelo so far has been an absolute game changer for my own account, and I've made plenty of videos on how he empowers you dealing with the Scarab super easily, of how you can set up a team around the Fire Knight or even the Spider's Den just by using his own abilities. So Michelangelo is already insane. If you get all of them together with Donatello, Leonardo, then obviously the team is going to be even so much stronger. In this case, you now also have a chance to get yourself a perfect whale and an unkillable, so you have a pretty hard-hitting H3. You have 3 hits on it, you ignore defense on the target, and then if you're able to get a kill, you get additional buffs for yourself. And the cooldown is not too bad either. If you're fully booked, you have a 3-turn cooldown, which is pretty decent. Now, again, we're playing around the Berserker buff that you have right here. If you can't get the kill, but then when we're talking about this A2, now you have another attack where you get an attack on all the enemies on the other side, and you're ignoring shield and block damage buffs if you're under a Berserker buff, which is actually pretty insane. I mean, that can really help you a lot. Especially when we're looking at Arena, for example, there's just so much going on with shield mechanics, with block damage, where you can do tons and tons of work if you have that right there and you attack on all the enemies. So this is helping you to break through that a bit. Can also be very useful, of course, when we're talking about the PvE content, but especially in PvP, this can be absolutely fantastic. And also, in this case, you do more damage to shields if you don't have the Berserker buff. So even if you don't have the Berserker buff, you're still doing lots of damage to those shields and can break through them. So if you're going up against an opponent that's trying to just set up a defense team, has a Krisk on the other side, or whatever it may be, you have a much better chance to actually go pretty hard on this. As a bonus, you also have the Terminator increasement right there. Normally when we're talking about a damage dealer, you will always try to have a 100% crit rate anyways. So if you get those critical hits in together, that boosts your Terminator even more, which is of course in and of itself already fantastic. And then on the A1, we're having a block revive, which can be pretty helpful when you're talking about some of the dungeons. Now, in the dungeon setup, it's mostly helpful when we're looking at the Ice Golem. Personally, I think that Ice Golem is the most unimportant of all the dungeons, but this is also an ability that can help you a lot in the Doom Tower and other areas when on the other wave there's a lot of revivers. I mean, Doom Tower, for example, there are a couple of waves that are difficult to break through when you're just on a new account. When you have those Siphi waves, those Duchess waves, for example. If you have now an A1 where you can get some pretty decent damage out and then also apply a block revive, that's fantastic too. That additional turn meter increase that he has for himself is just another bonus where you are getting your turns faster. So with all that said, Raphael is a pretty solid champion. I mean, he is quite strong. I would love to add him to my account. And you can get him now if you really saved your resources. But let's take a quick look on what you actually have to do to get him. And this is where, unfortunately for me, things are going a bit south. So the way that you get him is that you have to go for the Hothead deck of Fate. And right now, every single card that you want to flip costs 1,000 pizza slices, and you can get pizza slices by summoning soul stones and getting artifacts and accessories. And then you will find, again, the shards or the fragments for Raphael underneath there, including other benefits. So in this case, for example, you still have some legendary books in there, you have a couple of shards, so you have plenty of rewards. The problem is really that you need a lot of resources in order to make this happen. And Plarium in this case has actually started to slightly decrease the values that you're going to get. So we have now for your soul stones, for Mortal Soul you get 70 pizza slices, for an Immortal you get 700, and for an Eternal Soul Stone, right behind me, it's 3,500. So there was already a bit of a reduction compared to other events in the past, where for an Eternal Soul Stone you will get 3,700. And for me, this is really bad news, because on this account, I just don't have enough soul stones just yet. I essentially am running on roughly 20 mortal soul stones, so that's not a lot. If you're in the late game, then you probably have a couple hundred, or at least more than 100 mortal soul stones. You probably have an eternal soul stone as well, and an immortal, but you need a lot of resources in order to make that work. We're talking about roughly 40,000 points if you have to pull all of the cards here. And of course, one of the issues is that with the fragments currently as distributed as they are, there will be plenty of players that have to pull really every single card and turn them over. So you need to do a lot. So your main source of pizza slices currently is really pulling your soul stones, and there is no event that gives you a ×2 chance, which we've seen in the past coming with an event like this. And when you're looking at how many points and pizza slices you get through simply raiding artifacts, there's not a lot going on here. So even if you're able to go for the higher stages of some of the dungeons, you have a tough time of getting a lot of points with this. So getting all of it through artifacts alone is nearly impossible. You would need thousands and thousands of gems in order to pull enough energy to make that happen. I have currently on this account, I believe, nearly 2,000 gems, and I was hoping that this is going to help me a bit, but I'm not even close to an area where I can consider going for Raphael and really just like put those gems in, turn them into energy, and then farm high-level dungeons and try and get myself enough of those pizza slices to get to Raphael. So I unfortunately have to abandon this. The event is set up essentially that you're getting your main amount of pizza slices through soulstone pulls, and then whatever you're lacking you can make up through artifacts. So the artifact part can chip in, but it's really unlikely that you're going to get all of it through that, unless you are really in the end game and you can farm, for example, in the hard version of all of the dungeons on a higher level, and you're getting a lot of mythicals there as well. And for most people that's not really going to be the case. So if you are in the very early game with your account, chances are Raphael is not something that you can pull off. If you're more so in the late mid-game already, or with a late-game account, then things are looking a little bit different. But at least for me, it's unfortunately a pass. I hope that I have a chance to get Leonardo once that he's on the menu. But, well, with that said, I'm kind of curious. Are you going to make a play for him? Do you think you can actually pull it off? Did you accumulate enough soul stones to get a decent amount of pizza slices and points for the event through that? Or what's your plan for the turtles now? I would have loved to get 2 or 3. I've obviously only Michelangelo so far. Maybe I'm going to get Leonardo. But, yeah, curious to see what you guys think. Do you feel that it's a bit too difficult to get? Should Plarium have made that easier? And what is your personal choice? Is it a skip, or is it something where you say, okay, this is worth it for me, I have the resource and I can go for it and I want Raphael? Or what's your plan? Let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching the video. Again, if you made it this far in the video, give the video a thumbs up. Always helps to promote it in the algorithm a little bit. And I'll see all of you guys in the next one.